Hello everyone, welcome back to CloudOpsCraft. Today we are going to discuss about Kubernetes namespace, organizing your cluster. Okay, let's start. Why do we need namespace? Imagine your Kubernetes cluster is large office building shared by multiple teams like dev, QA and prod. Without organization, everyone could dump their files and servers in one shared room. Okay, it will be difficult to manage, right? Namespace in Kubernetes helps organize and isolate resources inside your cluster. You can think of a namespace as a virtual cluster inside the main cluster. Each namespace gets its own deployments, service, config maps, secrets, and even access controls. Okay, so like a real world example is, for example, you can create multiple namespaces. Okay, for developers test new features. Okay, you can use dev. You can create one namespace called dev. Let me zoom this. Okay, developers test new features where dev test new features. Okay, next is QA. Okay, it's a testers verify before release. Next is prod. Okay, prod is like runs the live application, runs live app. Okay, live application. Okay, so all can exist in the same cluster yet remain logically separated. So one namespace cannot accidentally access or delete resources in another, just like teams in separate office departments. Okay, default namespace in Kubernetes. Actually, Kubernetes get namespaces. Okay, you will have default namespace like default. Okay, default is for general resource. Okay, general resource. Okay, cube system, core system components. Okay, and the cube public. This is for public info. For this is for core system components. Okay, next is cube node lease also. Cube node release, node lease. Okay, this is for odd bits for nodes. Odd bits for nodes. Okay, so by default everything you create goes into default namespace unless you specify otherwise. Okay, so like in cube system we will have system pods, and in default we will have user workloads, and you can create your own namespace. Okay, for dev, QA, prod. Okay, creating and using namespace. Actually there are, let's create three namespace for our environments. Okay, let's make our cluster available. Actually I am running minikube. Okay, in AWS VM. Okay, for initial stages you can practice with minikube. After that you can go with managed Kubernetes like EKS. Okay, mostly 90% will be same, but 10% will vary. That you will understand. Okay, that's not any problem. Okay, let me connect with the terminal. Let me zoom this. Okay, let's create a three namespace. The command to create namespace is kubectl create namespace dev. It will create dev namespace. Okay, actually minikube is not running, I hope. Minikube status. Since I stopped it and I am started it, I haven't started minikube. Okay, so we already discussed how to start minikube, right? I'll just go to history and I'll just copy command to start minikube. This is the command. Okay, I have already created one video how to set up minikube. If you didn't set up, then watch that and set up it. Okay, once it started running, then we can execute commands to create namespace. Okay, now let's create namespace. We have created dev namespace. Next we will create a QA namespace, and we will create a prod namespace. Okay, just type kubectl get ns to view all the namespace. Here you can see cube node list, cube public, cube system, uh, default, this and all. By default it will be created. Now we have created dev prod qa. Okay, now even in our last class we written some code, right? You can see pods and all we have created now. So we can use one of the pod. Better we can use nginx.yaml, and we will try to deploy into our namespace called dev. Okay, so same only like what we done in last class. Okay, additionally we have to add -n and a namespace name. Okay, kubectl like apply -f nginx.yaml, just provide -f and provide namespace that you need, like that you are going to have your pod. Okay, so now we have created. If you okay, generally we will do kubectl get pod, right? And you will see the pods. But now what we are doing, we have created this pod on our namespace called dev. So while you are getting pod also, you have to use -n and dev. You can see there is some error, but it's not our it's not like we don't need to like look into it. Our major thing what we did here, we just created a pod in our namespace because we are discussing about namespace only here. Okay, if you want to check what will be the error, then do describe and you can check it. Because here I am using config map which is not there, that's why we are getting issue. If you want to fix also, we can fix it. Just open nginx, just remove that config map that we have added, because in our last previous in our previous classes we just created a config map, right, that I have deleted. That's why we are getting this issue. Okay, now if I do the same, if I again do kubectl -apply, this time it will fix. Okay, there is some issue. What may be the issue? Any idea? Like let me read the issue again. Here you can see what may be the issue. Do you know? If you know, just let me know in the comment section, because we already discussed this, right? So we already discussed this on where in our pod section. Like while we are discussing about what is pod, we discussed this. Okay, so here you can see ports. The issue is forbidden. Pods may not change field other than spec containers, like that we are getting. So then how to address this? Okay, if I want to fix this issue, I'm just getting that invalid spec. Okay, that is the issue. Then how we can fix this? First we have to delete the existing pod. Okay, if I do kubectl get pods -n dev, you can see this pod, right? First we have to delete this kubectl delete, because in this pod we just created with config map, and after that we have removed it, right? So we have to just remove this pod and we have to recreate it again. Okay, so -n dev. Now if I run, it is working, right? you can see it's up and running, because we are not having that config map on our virtual machine, right? That's why we got that issue. Since I removed it, I have to remove this, I have to delete this container, like a pod. After that I have to rerun it newly, because I just removed it. Okay, so that one I have done. Now it is running. Now you can see, if I do just like, if I am not giving namespace and if I am just giving kubectl get pods, you can see my app pod is not here. Okay, because we created it on our namespace. Okay, so it is working as expected. Okay, so next is resources, quotas and limit ranges. You need to understand about resources, quotas and limit ranges, because in real time it plays a major role. Okay, so resources, quota and limit range. Okay, when multiple teams share the same cluster, you don't want one team to consume all CPUs or memory. That's where resources, quota and limit range comes in. Okay, we can like for dev, okay, I am going to give only 2 CPUs or 1 CPUs, like that you can define. Okay, so and as well as you can tell that dev can use only dev can run only 10 pods only. They can't run more than 10 pods, like that. If you provide in the resources quota, they can't run more than 10 pods and they can't use more than 2 CPUs. Okay, you can implement like that also. Okay, limit range also you can provide this in resources quota. You can limit the pod values and CPU and limits all these things. In limit range, you can define resources limits per pod or container. Okay, so if developer forgets to define CPU or memory, Kubernetes automatically assigns these defaults, which means even while he is writing pod or if he is writing deployments, but he didn't provided how much memory that pod should use, means uh, by default limit range will provide that, will apply that. That's the thing. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so first we will write resources quota. After that we will write limit range. Okay, first we will start with resources quota. Okay, let's create it. Vi space vi space like I'll name this as a resources quota. Okay, resources, just a YAML file name. Okay, nothing else. Resources hyphen quota dot YAML. Now we will start write our code. API version, I'll give as v1. We as like in our previous classes itself we discussed, right? Why we have to use v1? Any idea? We already discussed now. Like if you didn't watch that video, just watch that video. Okay, I'll provide a link in the description. Any idea? You can let me know on the comment section. Okay, you just pause the video and let me know on the comment section. The thing is, the major reason for using v1 here is for mostly like